everyone, it's Janet with Radiant Realty. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay a while. And don't be shy, I love reading your comments and answering any questions you may have. So today we are talking about the Montana housing crisis. And you have probably by now seen the headlines throughout various YouTube channels, news sources, that sort of thing, kind of creating all of this angst and just kind of nervousness to buy a house right now with rising interest rates and home prices and everything, and just with what we've seen in the last couple years. So if you look at some of these headlines for some of these videos, let's see here. We've got Federal Reserve planning a housing crash for 2022. Yield curve inversion warning. The migration data is shocking. A Cali crash. Stop buying. Crashed spring of 2022. Aren't we in spring of 2022 now? Of course, this was posted some months ago, but I have seen no crash and nothing whatsoever with all of these scary yellow and red and so I just wanted to go through. Obviously, I cannot predict the future. Nobody else can predict the future. We don't have a crystal ball, but we can look at the data and we can go through what's going on here in Montana, all of Montana, and then also Flathead County, which is where I am at. So pull up a chair and let's dive into this a little bit further. So this article from NBC Montana, census data highlights growth in Flathead County. County population grew by 3,681 people from July 1 of 2020 to 2021, amounting to a 3.5% increase. I know that doesn't sound like a lot to some of you that are from the bigger cities, but for us it definitely is a lot, and I believe those numbers are probably even greater from 2021 to 2022. Another headline here, Montana's fastest growing city last year. It wasn't Bozeman. Bozeman has been our fastest growing city for many years, and this year Kalispell, Montana took that place. And one more here, you can see in this graph, Montana's 2020-2021 population shifts. So you can kind of see those giant green circles signifying where the bulk of the people are moving to. And basically what that means is we don't see a housing crisis or a crash or a recession coming anytime soon for these places. All right, so do I feel like a Montana housing crash is coming? Honestly, I do not, and I'm not alone in that. Many other real estate agents that I've spoken with, brokers, lenders, investors, all kind of feel the same that are in this area, and there are a couple of reasons why. So let's dive into the data a little bit. The first reason that if there were a housing crash of any sort, it is months away, because if you look at this data for housing inventory, that basically drives what we're doing. Right now we have so much demand and so little supply. So if you look at this graph here, back in 2019 we had 6 to 7 months of supply. That's the houses that were listed on the market. That's a good number. That's a pretty balanced market. Anywhere between that 4 to 6 months, they say, is pretty balanced. Anything greater than that, you kind of have a little bit in favor of the buyers. Anything less than that, the hand is stacked for the sellers. So right now, if you look in 2022, we are under 2 months of inventory. That is just crazy if you look at that graph there and see that major dip. And when you're looking at that graph, that blue line is the Montana Regional MLS, and then that yellow line is for Flathead County. So they kind of are very similar, with Flathead County being just a little bit different. Here's another graph where you can kind of see the month supply of inventory with a history going from 2020, 2021, and 2022. So in that bar graph in that top left, in March of 2020, for single family, we had 4.7 months inventory. Now in 2022 for March, we have 1.1 month of inventory. And for townhouses and condos, it's a little bit better. We were 4.2 in March of 2020 and now 2.5 in 2022. Definitely better than 2021 for townhomes and condos. Fairly similar for the single family homes. But if you go down to that line graph down there, historical month supply of inventory by month, if you look at 2009, 2010, we were sitting quite pretty. Of course, we were still coming off of the recession of 2008, right? So that explains that. But then from there, it's just kind of an ebb and flow, but downward cycle. So right now in 2022, historical month supply is at an all-time low. So what that means to me and to many others in the valley here and throughout Montana is there's no crash until that at least levels out, and then we get a higher inventory so that it's more of a buyer's market. So we need more demand than there is supply, and right now we just aren't seeing that. If you look at our census data, Montana as a whole, and then even Flathead County, Montana specifically, has had so many new people moving to the state, to the county, and we can't build fast enough. We don't have that many builders. Our custom builders are about 2 years out. We have our spec builders, but again, they have certain developments planned and they can only go as fast as their workforce will allow them. So we definitely are not seeing that inventory is going to go up anytime soon. Now, the rising interest rates should help with that. So as far as throughout the year, we're already in the 5s currently for some of the conventional loans. So buyers are a little bit more hesitant. So as less buyers are wanting to dive in and take that leap, that should help with our inventory. But currently, even for Kalispell, if you look at this graph here, we have 227 listings currently available in Kalispell. But almost a quarter of those, see, the numbers can be deceiving if you don't dig in a little bit further, almost a quarter of those are new condo listings in a 55 plus community. So while these woodlands units are lovely and condos have their place, that's not a perfect fit for everybody. And it's also a 55 plus living community. So unless you're over 55, it's not even an option. So that already takes that 227 listings down by 54. So now you are maybe 175 listings to choose from throughout Kalispell for the month. Okay, so you can see that in this graph with Montana as a whole, just over 4,000 listings in 2019 for the month, and then now in 2022 we're just over 1,000. For Flathead County, they were at 1,000 in 2019, and now that has more than cut in half as well. And similarly in this graph, all these graphs have the same trend. They're all going down, down, down. Now this one does come back up this last month a little bit, so there's a little bit of hope, a little silver lining. In 2019, the median days on market was 35 to 40. In 2022, last month, we were down at 10 or under, and now we kind of are back up around that 15 mark. Now this one might excite you. This one actually goes the other direction, but that's because it's the percent of list price gotten. So when somebody's asking $100,000 for their home, you'll see here in 2019, they didn't get quite that 100,000. They probably got 97,000 for it. But now here in 2022, they're getting well over 100% of their asking price because it's a seller's market, because we have less than 2 months of inventory on hand. So they can pretty much ask for what they want. I'm seeing sellers put their homes for sale and say, I need to be in it till July, I need to be in it till August, I need to be in it till June, I need these parameters, I need this for closing, and buyers are lining up to buy that and do that for them. And then this graph as well also goes into that upward trend. That is because this is the price per square foot graph. So in 2019, we were sitting at just under $200 a square foot in Flathead County. Montana was much lower at around that $150. But now here in 2022, we're up just above $350 a square foot, and I've seen much higher throughout the valley. And then as for Montana as a whole, we are just around that $250 a square foot. And then in this graph as well, also that upward trend, that is the sales price median. So in 2019, Montana, just over $250,000. Flathead County, just over $300,000 for the median. Now Montana is sitting at right around that $400,000 mark, with Flathead County up near that $500,000 mark. So what this means for you is basically, if you're wanting to buy a home in Montana, don't be scared. Don't be scared off by that. Prices are projected to continue to increase this year, not like they did last year. Last year, if you watch my Montana home prices surge video, we were up near that 53% increase for the county last year, which is just insane. So take a deep breath, buyers. It's not going to be that crazy this year. However, it is going to continue. It is predicted to continue to increase each month slightly. So if you you are wanting to buy and you can make those payments, don't wait, just jump right in. If you do need to wait for some reason, then don't freak out. It's not hopefully going to be as crazy as last year. But when people say housing crash, recession, all of this stuff, we just aren't seeing the facts or the data to back it up here in Montana anyways. I'm not sure in other parts of the country that might be the case. Definitely, if you have questions, leave them below. If you have additional input or things that I haven't thought about, leave those below. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when new videos drop. I do have a new local business feature that should be out on Sunday, so stay tuned for that giveaway as well. Have an awesome week, and I will see you next time.